When my kids were younger and they were still in public school, I actually had one in high school left, and then the rest were in elementary school. One was about to go into middle school. We decided we wanted to take a family vacation to the great land of Florida to go to Universal Studios and to Disney World. So we had planned, we had been saving up for so long to be able to go for 10 straight days to Disney World and then Universal Studios with one day as a break in between. By the way, if you want your kids to hate amusement parks, that's what you do. We learned the hard way. Anyway, I approached at the beginning of the year. The plan was to go in January when the crowds would be less during school. We would take the kids to Disney and Universal Studios. So at the beginning of the year, I met with the principals of my kids' schools to let them know, hey, my kids are going to be gone from the end of January, beginning of February. We'll be gone for 10 days, and they're going to miss, 8 days of school. And the response from my son's principal that was in high school was, hey, have a great time with your family. He understood, right? He was a great educator, and he understood the value of family time. But my kid's elementary principal was like, nope, that's not acceptable. You can shorten your trip. And I'm like, no, lady, the trip is already paid for, and this family time is really important. And she's like, yeah, but your kindergartner and your fourth grader might get behind. And that's a lot to ask the teachers to have them come up with work for your kids so that you can go on vacation and be able to go on more than 3 rides in a day, like other people who go during the summer do. I was so bugged. Well, guess what? We went anyway, despite what the elementary school principal said, and had a great time, minus that my kid's favorite part was the tram at the airport and swimming in the pool at the VRBO we were staying at. My point is that when you homeschool, you don't have to be beholden to what some elementary principal thinks or being worried about being truant. By the way, my kids did not miss any school that entire semester. They had perfect attendance for years, and the principal was worried about us being gone for a few days to go on a trip. Now that we homeschool, every Wednesday, we go skiing. Isn't that awesome? You know why we do? Because we can. Do you know what else that we do? I can take my kids to lessons like violin lessons and cello lessons with some of the best teachers in town who are normally booked out because they only have so many spots after school. But my kids, because we homeschool, can go at 9 o'clock in the morning, or they can go in the middle of the day, and it's cool. And they've got plenty of space for us. We also once went to the Space Foundation when we started homeschooling, and guess who wasn't there? Anybody else? We were completely by ourselves. As a matter of fact, we were the only people at the Space Foundation that day. We went on a Wednesday. Totally nobody was there. They gave my kids the best treatment ever. As a matter of fact, they had this little rover that, like, it's a remote control rover. And normally with kids, when schools come for a field trip to the Space Foundation, like each child gets like 3 minutes with the rover. But because we were the only people there that day, because we were homeschooled, my kids got to spend an hour and a half each playing with the rovers. And they were more than happy to let them. They're like, play away. You guys are the only people here today. They gave my kids and my family the best treatment because we were homeschooled and there wasn't a million people fighting for their attention. Just my kids. That's it. That's one of the cool things that happens when you homeschool. Suddenly, the world opens up and there aren't as many lines. Now, I must say, it doesn't matter when you go to Disney now, there's going to be a million people there because all of Brazil goes in February and January, as I learned.